Thank you for joining me in today's presentation. My name is Ayana Hawkins. I work with eXp Realty here in the Valley area. And I want to talk to you all about a program that may allow you to become a homeowner quicker than you ever thought imaginable. Um, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of things in a personalized call, which you can always schedule with me via phone, via Zoom, via text, however works for you. We can definitely make it happen. But I definitely want to give you an idea of what to expect with this particular program and how it may benefit you to at least consider it, and don't close the doors on this possibility that is out here for you. So one thing we know is life happens. Things happen, you're married, all of a sudden you're divorced, or you're working a full-time job. Next thing you know, you're an Uber driver. Things happen, and those things happen, and they aren't always at the fault of the person that they're happening to. It just is what it is. So when those things happen, does that automatically take you out of the game? Should it take you out of the game? Not necessarily. And that is what we want to kind of get across today, is that all is not lost just because life happened. Um, the hardest thing I've learned, and this is personally speaking, is that being self-employed is great until you go try to get credit, especially when you're trying to do something like purchase a home or even purchase a car for that matter. Can be a little more strenuous than it once was when I was a W-2 employee. So that is something that the company that we are partnered with does take into consideration, and they understand that traditional income is a thing of the past at this point, and we don't want to penalize people for being out of the box thinkers and for being ready to be an entrepreneur or for being an independent contractor. That's something that we don't want you to necessarily feel like is a bad thing. So this program is definitely kind of geared towards that mindset. It's also geared towards those who maybe have been working their hardest and they just can't quite get the financial backing that they need to become a homeowner. So that large down payment that once was what you were saving up for, something happened and now your down payment is cut in half because life happens. You need a new car all of a sudden that you didn't expect. Your child needs braces. You didn't see that coming. The AC on your current home that you're renting doesn't work anymore and the landlord won't fix it. Now you've got to go and take care of that. Things happen. And when those things happen, that shouldn't negate you from reaching your end goal. The credit score requirement of purchasing a home has recently increased like almost overnight. There was a time when a 580 credit score, it's not the greatest, but it was able to get you into a home. But now it can still get you into a home, but there's some other hoops and ladders you got to go through and go on top of in order to get to that point. And that's a conversation for a whole other day. But these are things that where life happens, and because life happens, we don't feel like you should automatically be put down back at the bottom of the totem pole, and there should be some things in place to help you overcome that. Well, now life can happen with Trio. Trio is a lease to own program, and with just a 580 credit score, a 580 FICO credit score, you can become a homeowner with no down payment required. We'll talk about that specifically here in a little bit. You can become a homeowner. You can even be self-employed or newly employed, meaning you could have just started your job 2 months ago. And as long as you can prove that you're working, that is not held against you. And you can still become a homeowner. So these are things that you didn't think were possible, but they are possible now with the TRIO program. So what if I told you that you can have everything you want when it comes to being a homeowner, and you get to pick the home of your dreams? You're not stuck in just, these are the houses that we have and you've got to choose from those houses. No, with the TRIO program, you can actually shop for the home within your price range, of course, that you want and you love, and you can call that home yours from day one. Not 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, which technically that's the case. But from day one, you can go into that house. And like I always love to say, if you want to go and paint the walls purple, guess what? Nobody's there to stop you. And that's the one thing that Trio offers to you, that you're not going to always get with a rental, which, you kind of lessen the load a little bit on a rental, but why let someone else gain equity in a home that you're going to live in when you can do it for yourself? So let's talk a little bit more. So who is Trio? Again, Trio is a company that has been around for at least 18 years. They've been around since 2001. However, they are new to the Arizona Valley area. So this is something that really just came about within the last few months, and the need for it is actually here. We definitely need it. So what makes Trio pretty special, in my point of view, is that it's a home ownership financing program that uses a lease with an option to purchase, but it's also combined with an assumable, FHA insured mortgage. So what does that mean in layman's terms? That means this: Trio is going to purchase a home for you. Let's step back even further. You and I are going to go out after you've been approved by Trio for X amount of dollars, and we're going to go find a home that you want to call your own. We find that home, and then what Trio is going to do is Trio is going to step in, and they're going to buy that home on your behalf. Now, when they buy that home, you are going to sign a lease with Trio. When you sign that lease with Trio, you're going to sign that lease for 3 years initially, and then once you can actually back out of that at any time, meaning you can purchase that home at any time during your lease. You can walk away from the home at any time during the lease, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg to do. So what they'll do is, again, they're going to buy the home that you want. You're going to live in that home. You're going to also gain equity in that home while you're leasing it from Trio. So they're basically your landlord in essence, but they're really not. They're more like your mortgage holder for the most part. And what they've gotten in place with their loan is an FHA loan. And an FHA loan, what makes that a great loan for certain cases is the minimum down payment requirement, which is usually about 3.5%. And that's why FHA loans are more sought after if you can, if you're not able to do a traditional conventional loan with a higher down payment or whatever the case may be. So with that FHA loan, it's assumable. And what that means is you can take over that loan. So whatever that loan and its terms are at the time of inception is the same loan that you're going to have. So you're going to know up front what your payment is going to be once you decide to come out of your lease and go directly into the purchase of the home. Now, you're going to lock in the price of that home as it is today. So that same house 3 years from now may be $50,000 more than what it is today. But by using the Trio lease to own option, you lock in that price plus a bit of a bump in price, but it's not a major bump in price. And again, that's going to depend on your lease type, your purchase type, the price of the home, a few other things. And that's a conversation again for another day. And we can definitely talk about that more so in person. But you're going to be able to get that home now at the price that it is now and not have to wait. Who knows what the inventory is going to look like in 3 years from now when you're ready to buy? Who knows what it's going to look like if you're ready to buy 6 months from now? But if that house that you want is on the market today and you have the ability to buy it today, why not buy it today? So that's the great thing about the Trio program. Again, there's no down payment up front for you. There are costs up front. So I don't want to mislead you into thinking that there aren't costs up front. There are, but it's not a down payment. You're not having to come up with $10,000 up front in order to get that house. The minimum to get you into a house is $4,000. And for the most part, that seems like a lot of money. But think about it this way. If you're going to go and rent a home and that home is $1,500 a month, to get you into that home, you're going to need $1,500 for your security deposit, minimum. There's probably going to be admin fees. If you have pets, they're going to be pet deposits. You're going to need all of these funds anyway. And plus, you're going to need your first month's rent. So 15 plus 15, we're already at 3,000. We haven't even gotten into those application fees. We haven't gotten into administrative fees. We haven't gotten into cleaning fees. We haven't gotten into whatever else pops up. So $4,000 is not as much as you really think when you think about it in the greater scheme of things. And that's all you need to get into the home. And it may not even honestly cost you that total amount. So that is something to consider as well. And again, we can talk about that more in person, depending on your situation. So what are the minimum requirements needed in order to get you into a TRIO home? Here they are right here. You need at least a 580 credit score, and that is your FICO credit score. And we can show you exactly where to get that from. You're going to need at least $3,600 per month in household income, and that's all income. Nothing is discriminated against. You're going to meet, your payment is going to have to be a third of your household income, and that's because we don't want you to struggle. TRIO doesn't want you to struggle. Nobody wants you to struggle. We want you to be able to live comfortably in this home. You're going to need 24 months of housing history. Being able to show that you are able and willing to pay your rent on time, it speaks volumes about your ability to become a homeowner and to sustain that homeownership status. You're going to need at least 2 months of savings, $4,000 minimum in your savings account. And that, again, we'll talk about that. That's not in addition to needing the moving cost that you're going to need in order to get into the home. And you're going to have a 50% max debt to income ratio. So again, we want to make sure that you're not overextending yourself in order to get into this home. And right now, you're going to be way less than that if you're trying to purchase a home. Your debt to income ratio, depending on the lender, is usually between 30 and 40%. So it gives you a little more cushion as far as that debt to income ratio is concerned. And then you're able to get into a house now and then work on those things, get those things down to the places where you need them to be while you're in the home, as there is in essence, a credit repair, financial coaching type situation that TRIO is going to put you in while you're in the length of your lease. So that is also a bonus to joining the TRIO program, is that they're going to get you. If you can't get there on your own, we all need a little help sometimes. They're going to get you mortgage ready so that by the time your lease is ready to expire, you are ready to purchase that home or walk away from that home and start over on a new home, whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, we want you to be able to get into your home now. That's the goal. So what is the process to becoming a TRIO buyer, so to speak? So first, you're going to apply. There is a free application. It takes you all of 5-10 minutes to fill out the application, and then you're going to attach your supporting documents to that, and that's all done through a portal. Everything is done online. It's as smooth as silk to get that done. So once you apply, within 2 to 3 days, you're going to be pre-qualified. Once you get pre-qualified, you're going to then reach back out to your realtor. You're going to go together and you're going to go out and find you a home. That home can be brand new. That home can be under construction. That home can be needing renovations. That home is out there for you. We just got to go find it. So once we find that home that you are ready to say, I'm ready to put my grassroots down in and call it mine, we're going to make an offer. Our offer gets approved. Now we're going to go under contract, and then we're going to get our final approval from TRIO. That's going to come after the home has been inspected. That's going to come after the home has been appraised, at least for the value of our contract. And then you're going to sign your lease with TRIO and make your deposits at that point. Once you do that, we'll be closing here shortly. You're going to close on that home within generally 30 to 45 days, and you're going to start moving in. And then once you are ready to buy that home, whether that be a month from the time you sign your TRIO contract or 36 months from the time you sign your TRIO contract, you're going to buy that home whenever you are ready to buy that home. But guess what you don't have to do? When you're ready to buy, you don't have to go shopping again because you're already in the home that you're ready to purchase. Can't beat that with a stick, right? So let's talk real numbers. I pulled a home that was just on the market as of last week. It's probably sold now. That home was $250,000. That was the actual list price on day one. So let's talk some numbers. Like, does this make sense for me if I'm in a certain price point? That's a good question. And again, we can talk about that more in person, and that just depends on your situation. The best thing to do is do the free application. It's not going to cost you anything. It's not going to cost you any credit points because you're going to pull your credit score first. And when Trio does pull your credit score, it's a soft pull. So it's not going to affect your credit score at all. So again, what's the harm in checking, right? So that house was $250,000. Now I did go and look up the property taxes on that home that was located in Maricopa. This home, the taxes on that home for last year's bill was actually $1,511. So you break that down, that's $126 a month for 12 months. And then the homeowners association dues were actually only $45 a month, so it averaged out to about $4 a month. So we're talking about a $250,000 house that if you were going to rent, you were probably going to pay in that area about $1,700, maybe 15. That's pushing it, but you're probably going to be paying at least $1,600 a month to rent that home. But with your Trio payment, you're going to be working on owning that home for $1,880 approximately. Again, these numbers are estimated, so they're not exact, but just to give you an idea of what you can do and how it's not going to break the bank like you think it may break the bank. You know what I mean? So just to kind of see that. And if you ever want to see what a home payment may look like outside of this number, you're welcome to go to the Trio website, thinktrio.com, and they have calculators there which you can compare different numbers and kind of look and see if this is something, again, that's going to work just based on what you're trying to do. So the one thing to keep in mind is that the max that you are able to purchase has to meet the FHA limit, which right now is about $331,000. So if you're looking for something that's more than that, that's well beyond that, then definitely let's talk about some other options. But if you're looking for something that's that price and under, then definitely consider taking advantage of the Trio program. So if you have any questions, I am available for those questions at any time. You can text me, you can call me, you can email me, you can find me on social media. Wherever you have a question, shoot it to me, call me with it, text me with it, and I will answer those questions as best I can. And if I don't know the answer, I will find out the answers for you and make sure you get all of the information that you need to be an informed buyer in this market. So if you want to get started today, here's the link. You're going to go to www.thinktrio.com. And once you're done with your application, if you do that on your own time, just shoot me an email at ayana.hawkins@exprealty.com with your Trio ID number, which you will not get until after you have completed the application. And just for allowing me to assist you, you're going to save $400 in some of your Trio fees. And again, we'll talk about that more in person once you get to that point. So thank you for your time, and anything I can do to help, absolutely let me know, and I will be more than glad to help you in any way I can.